You're running. We all are. Running from a past that haunts us towards a future that doesn't exist. You think that next promotion, that bigger house, or that perfect life will finally make you untouchable. But let me ask you this. If the world stopped cheering for you tomorrow, would you still have a reason to breathe? Most of you are living in a prison with open doors, guarding a throne made of glass. Today, we aren't just telling a story. We're performing an autopsy on your soul. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll realize that your greatest enemy isn't the world. It's the man you see in the mirror every morning. Oliver was a man who owned the sky, but forgot how it felt to walk on the earth. As a titan of Wall Street, his life was a symphony of flashing screens and cold numbers. He believed that control was something you bought, and peace was something you scheduled. But fate has a way of reminding us that we are merely guests in its house. One Tuesday, the market didn't just dip, it evaporated. By sunset, Oliver's empire was a graveyard of broken promises. He expected to feel a crushing weight, but instead, as he stood on the balcony of his silent penthouse, he felt a strange, terrifying lightness. He realized that for 20 years, he hadn't been living, he had been performing. Oliver left the city. No goodbye, no explanation. He moved to a rugged cabin in the mountains of Montana. There, the only CEO was the winter wind, and the only deadline was the setting sun. His soft, manicured hands bled as he learned to split cedar. He began to study the Stoics, realizing that his suffering didn't come from his empty bank account, but from his attachment to a ghost, the man he used to be. He practiced Amor Fati, not just accepting his fate, but loving it. He realized that the only thing the fire couldn't burn was his character. As the seasons changed, Oliver stopped looking at the clock and started looking at the horizon. He understood that true wealth is not having many possessions, but having few wants. Years later, he returned to the city, not to reclaim his throne, but to observe the madness he once led. He saw people rushing, faces buried in phones, hearts filled with anxiety. He stood in the middle of the crowd, a calm anchor in a sea of chaos. A stranger bumped into him, cursing in a rush. Oliver simply smiled. He was no longer a slave to his ego or the opinions of others. Oliver no longer owned the sky, but for the first time, he finally knew how it felt to walk on the earth.